Welcome to Secrets from the Saddle podcast. I'm Sylvie, your host, fellow cyclist, bike club founder, cycling coach, bike race junkie, just truly super passionate about cycling. My journey with cycling started 20 years ago when I opened a spin studio, started a women's race team, and founded a women's only cycling club called Cycle Fit Chicks. I'm super thrilled to reveal all aspects that make the world of cycling operate. I'm so excited to be able to bring you interesting people from around the world, pro cyclists, recreational cyclists, coaches, event organizers, bike shop owners, everything and everyone you need to know or ever wondered about when it comes to cycling. I know you'll enjoy this episode.
Need help creating the online business you've been dreaming about? Well, it's a good thing you're here because that's exactly what we're going to help you with. Hi, I'm Sarah Jansel, a friend and colleague of Sylvie's. I have over 20 years helping build and grow businesses, and today I help people do that on Shopify. If you want to build an online store, redesign one you have, set up email marketing, or just need some coaching or custom work, we can help you with that. Our goal is to help you sell more of the amazing products and services that you want to share with the world. I believe the world would be a better place if more people could build awesome businesses they love. So to help you get started with yours, today you're going to save $150 off a new store or a redesigned store. It's available for a limited time only, and all you have to do to take advantage of this is pop over to www.janselandco.com/services. That's JANSELAND.co/services. And let us know you heard this amazing podcast to get your quote and $150 off today.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Secrets from the Saddle, All Things Cycling podcast with your host, Sylvie here, sitting in Chelsea, Quebec, Canada. And we have Stephan Henrich sitting in Germany. And this guy I found on Instagram, where I found a lot of my interesting guests. And what drew me to his profile was this. Okay, by the way, if you're listening to this, try and switch over to YouTube, because this is going to be a really visually stimulating episode because of what he does. He does robotics, and he has prototyped, not designed and made this bike. This is a Infinity Beach and City Cruiser. You have to see this. It's on our Instagram. Stephan has graciously come on here, and I asked him to come on and talk about this bike. So here's a little bit about Stephan before we bring him out to talk about what he's created robotically. So bear with me, everyone. His intro is pretty intense, and so here it goes. So Stephan Henrich's work is located at the sector of architectural narration, design, and robotics. He runs his design studio with Robo Lab in Stuttgart. Stephan is developing robotic processes, automatizing, and production of architectonic structures. You have to go see his Instagram page. He is specialized in design for additive manufacturing. Stephan has won multiple innovative awards and has been in numerous publications. And I am so honored. We were talking about everything that he's doing in the background, like for his business. And I'm really honored to have him on as a guest on the podcast to talk about his work. Welcome to the podcast, Stephan.
Hi, Sylvie. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Of course, the printer is right behind me. I'm sorry. Okay. I am so happy to have you here. There we go. I'll just shut the power right off. Oh my God. Okay. So, Stephan, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I cannot wait to dive into your background.
Yeah, I thank you again for the invitation. Yeah, thanks for the introduction as well.
Thank you. So I always love to get started with how did you get into cycling? Because I'm really excited that I wasn't sure if Stefan had a cycling background because of the bike design, but apparently he does have quite a cycling background. So how did you get into cycling and how did it lead you to robotics and to this design?
How did I go get into cycling? I would say in the early 90s when I was first joining a group of it was an afternoon group with children of my age, and this guy leading the group, he had the idea to do a mountain bike afternoon on Tuesday.
Ah,
Every Tuesday we were mountain biking in the forest of Koblenz, my hometown in Germany. And there we had our mountain bikes with 21 gears, and we were all very proud. We can go up the hills and down the hills and stuff. I was catching fire, and I was doing this on and on and on, and touch base with the local bicycle stores, met other people who were willing to go to races with me, and so I found myself cross country racing at the age of, I don't know, 15, 16, until the age of 18, maybe, I don't know. So I did cross-country racing in Germany. Grundig Cup was one famous race bicycle series. And that was my start. So, and this was going on until I discovered BMX, especially flatland BMX. Also through some guys in Koblenz, Frank Lucas, he became a very famous rider. He's now still a UCI judge, so judging flatland contests and all over the world. And we were riding together, and I'm still riding from time to time with my little son.
oh,
Now it's just for it always has been for fun, but now it's pure fun and recreation. And right tomorrow I will go cycling again with friends in the Alps, and so I never really stopped cycling. But actually, when you say how cycling can lead to something robotic, maybe it was through this BMX thing, through this flatland BMX
oh,
thing. Because there you really have to think. In a how to say in a choreography of moving parts yourself. You're moving,
yeah.
the front wheel is moving, and the back of the bicycle is moving. And when I'm here, then the bike is there. And how can balance be managed? And this is actually a bit comparable, I would say. And maybe that's why, or part
Huh.
of.
Well, certainly we do talk about the whole body connection with our bikes, but I'm glad to hear you said that you are moving on into gravel and you're going to France to do some riding there. That's exciting. I didn't think there was
Yeah,
that much
yeah.
gravel around. I guess there must. All those unpaved
I've,
roads.
you have plenty of unpaved roads, of course. So it's yeah. No, it's very possible to spend days only on unpaved roads. From time to time, of course, you have streets and you share them with the cars, but it still remained my favorite kind of
Uh,
ride. So it's a bit like mountain biking, but not with these too rough terrain. But
yeah.
for a guy with a family who doesn't want to hurt himself, it's perfect.
Yeah. I would say I just got into gravel myself and I'm finding it and I used to mountain bike too.
Mhm.
And I road bike. So I find that gravel is a great medium in between the mountain and the road. And it just makes me crazy when I go on there because I just love it so much. So how did you come to get into robotics, like schooling? And where did you go to school for this? Because it takes a certain mind to put these well, robotics together, like the projects, the designs?
Yeah, how to say, where to start? I studied architecture in
Okay.
Stuttgart in Germany, and also in France and in Paris. And early on, I think second semester, I find a way to express my interest in robotics in a rather basic way, but or in a funny way, or an ironic way, or yeah, in an artistic way, if you want.
Uh-huh.
And why did I do that? Maybe I discovered that I rather should be a designer than an architect. Maybe I was missing moving objects in architecture. In architecture, it's a door or it's a window that moves. Hopefully, more. Otherwise, maybe in an earthquake or something.
Yeah, you got a good point there.
And yeah, and so every semester I managed to get something robotic, if you want, in my work. And then I went to France for this for 2 semesters, and there I discovered this guy or an office, RNSIE. They have been working on robotic concept, or they had one project at this time exploring robotics concept in construction and architecture. It was in 2004, and it was really avant-garde, and still is, and still led to many ideas that people now are actually realizing. And I was on the right spot in the right time, and figured out that people actually also like what I liked in this work, and yeah, and from this moment on, it developed in something that became a practice that yeah, that I'm still doing, teaching from time to time, and yeah.
So I guess when your interest in robotics started, this was like pre-Google, like pre-YouTube, pre like the internet. So you really did have to find someone that was into robotics, like you said, being at the right place at the right time. And now, because I just think of like I have kids too, and they watch some of these, robot wars. Have you ever seen those? Like kids make their robotics and they go and they duel it out. I mean, I know that's not kind of what you're doing, but it's kind of like the age now.
Yeah.
It's more mainstream, like there's more things that you can research. So how did you get started on that? Like, was it like in the 90s pre?
It was yeah, 1999 well, my first
2000.
serious thing at university was in 2003.
Okay.
And there actually had as a yeah, a little bit of advice by a friend also riding flatland BMX, and he was a mechanical engineer, and
Okay.
I showed him my concept, and he was saying, "Oh, this is linked to this robotic concept, parallel robotics, or whatever it was," and there I discovered, oh, okay, it's not complete nonsense, but
yeah,
could be done if you're open-minded, and if you like to take risks, and if you yeah, use your imagination, and yeah, that was maybe the beginning. It also won a little prize in a student competition, so I was more motivated afterwards.
right. So then you said that you did some schooling in the US, right?
Yeah.
And so where were you for that? And was
Oh.
that completely robotic?
Oh, it was in the architectural department each time.
Okay.
So it was in the architectural department at USC in Los Angeles. There was 3 semesters, and at UPenn I was 1 semester. In Philadelphia, then in Ithaca, in
Oh wow.
Cornell University, and then also in Austria. And it was always about robotic concepts. Yeah, robotic concepts in architecture.
Wow, that's a great breadth of different, like 1 semester in each university, which gives you a really good.
It gives you an overview if you want. Yes,
Yeah.
you're living as a guest. You go there, and then next semester you come back, or you're not coming back, and it's never boring.
Yeah, I bet. So how did you get into once you graduated, how did you get into the business? Because you have a lot of companies, a lot of clients that you work for to create different robotic projects. How did how did you get into that? To get your first client or your first job, or how did that work?
Well, this one office I was working with in Paris, I started working with them during my studies, and we continued working together during almost a decade. And but otherwise, I worked with Festo Bionics. So they do they call it Festo Bionic Learning Network. I think they're famous all over the world for their bionic animals. It's robotic animals. They look like what?
Like the dogs?
Not really a dog, but they had a spider. They had
I can see that.
A bird. They had now also a bat even, and some flying animals, but a kangaroo as well. You have to check them out. It's fantastic. And
what are they?
Festo. The name of the company is Festo, Festo, and the department is Festo Corporate Bionics, and they have this program called Festo Bionic Learning Network. And in this constellation, they work with external partners, like I became one, to explore what is possible in robotics linked to bionics. And how got I into this? We had the same prototyping guy. I worked with a prototyping guy, and the Festo Bionics people, they also used this prototyping guy. Christoph Altekamp, a fantastic prototyper here in Stuttgart. He was working on I'm not sure, kangaroo maybe, and he told me, the stuff you're doing, you have to know the Festo people. And then he called them, and I met them, and then we worked for 1.5 years together on we called it the 3D cocooner. It's like a 3D printing system mounted on a robot, a nozzle that is actually drawing 3D in space. So it's not
what?
So normal 3D printing logic is, if you want, not really 3D, but 2.5D. So you have a layer, you draw your lines or an outline of an object, and then the next layer starts, and it's always 2.5D. And in this system, you have something else. You have fiber reinforced bars that you really draw from bottom up in the air, so in Z direction. And I think this is almost for the first time that 3D printing was realized in this way, and with an endless fiber reinforcement. I also was thinking maybe it could be interesting for the bicycle industry, but I haven't pushed this idea yet.
You know what? I was reading that some of the track cyclists have 3D aero bars created for them because they can make them so specific for their own geometry, like measurements and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, what? You're on a 3D handlebar. I was just like, how can that be strong enough?
Yeah,
but I guess it is.
Well, in metal, it's I think in metal it's not a problem. You have titanium, you have all different kinds of aluminum, and so it's fillable. You can even save the construction technology, design technology. There you can save weight as well.
Yes, light.
So ergonomically, it's favorable to where you can design for the very cyclist.
Yes,
your handlebar would look different from my handlebar. design properly. So it's
and
really,
angles and measurements, and so it can be created fairly quickly, right?
yeah.
Because so I was just reading an article about some track cyclists that had 3D created handlebars for
Mhm.
them.
Yeah,
I
but
was
there's
just like,
also serial
what?
production going on. There's what is it? Is that the specialized saddle that is 3D printed with these
No, really?
um, lattice structure thing there that's super lightweight
I wonder if
and
it's comfortable though.
so
No padding on that, that's for sure. So so let's talk about your design, your bike. You have a little prototype there. Bring it out.
yeah, I have a model. It's a
It's a
tiny
little
model.
model. Oh my God. Okay. So this is, I thought it was created because obviously when you look at it, it's like, you know, you see the run through and does it actually run? Can you pedal? No, I guess not.
Not this one. It's just now
So
I'm working.
Stefan, yeah, he's in the process. So this is the model of the bike, and you can see it on our thumbnail. It'll be there. But it's in the process of being created. So talk about how you put this together, put this bike together, like the thought process around this.
Yeah, it's yeah, what can I
If you
say?
want to hold it and talk to it, like,
Yeah,
because I've got the picture in front of me. I'm like, wow.
so the initial idea was how to get an all-wheel drive into a bicycle.
An
And I know
all-wheel
there
drive
are
into a
some
bicycle. Okay.
concepts existing already for all-wheel drive and bicycles. So if you imagine here a regular fork, sometimes then from the crankset there's an additional chain going up here to the head tube and then down the fork, and then you have and this is then all linked, and you have a front drive as well, additionally to
Right.
your
Oh,
back drive. I saw this, and it's a bit. It sounds a bit augmented and yeah, it's ugly. It's
he's like, no, I don't think it works, but I don't think anybody will ride it.
but then I thought, yeah, there is something to this idea to have a all-wheel drive, because from automobile, we know all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive are pretty good to have more traction and in rough terrain. And but also with my BMX background, what if you had propulsion in your front wheel and you can pedal nose wheelie your way through through the city or stuff like that? It gives
Yeah.
us an entire set of new tricks that become possible as well. Yeah, so I thought, what do I have to delete from a regular bike to become to a genuine all-wheel drive that is not augmented to an existing concept, but really integrated from the bottom up into the device, and this is what it looks like. It's
Okay, hold
come
that up there,
to,
Steph. We're gonna take a little picture.
it's this
All
come to
right.
use
Yeah.
here. It's like an 8 or laying 8. So that's why it's called the infinity, because the
Right,
size.
because it's like an infinity ring.
And yeah, and of course, if this is the same element in this here, it needs if you give a propulsion here, then it's an all-wheel drive, and yeah, so it's a chain of individual clips that are mounted here.
Yeah.
So it's not a tire that goes through. There's no inflation, but it's
So it's like a rubber. It's like a rubber ring.
It's the cushioning is not done by air, but by a I would call it the flat spring geometry in each segment of this chain, and then mounted on top there is a rubber element. So you still have the grip that you would have with a regular tire. And then it's just a chain with 2 degrees of freedom. So 1 degree of freedom is that it can go like this and then also go like this. So like a regular bicycle chain, but also you want to steer it. So you want to.
Yeah. So somebody on your Instagram asked about steering, and then I look really closely at it and I'm like, that's a good question.
Yeah. So you still have something like a fork, right? So here's the steering axle,
Okay. Yeah.
and this is then the frame, and this is the fork. It looks different, but it's still a fork. And how can this element here, the clip chain, do the steering? You
Yeah.
need an additional degree of freedom in the system. So not only one, which is enabling this and this, but also a second one, which is enabling this and this. And this can be done by geometry. You have to draw into each element. And yeah,
So you would be able to turn the wheel.
Yeah, of course.
A little bit.
Look here, you have here the system is guided here.
Okay.
And
Okay.
here in between, there's no guidance.
Right.
And that means that in this area, you can.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking more at the handlebars, and then like at the front. I didn't think that it would, move at like behind the handlebars.
Yeah. The steering, well, in a normal bike, you have a steering axle which is sitting here, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it will behave differently from a normal bike, of course. And no, but it is steerable. And talking about this guiding system, you need to guide this guy, which is actually becoming a rim in this area. And in this area, it's like it's a tooth belt that has this propulsion by a central wheel. This gear here.
Yeah.
So if you're turning the pedals, this guy will move and propulse the.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So like the drivetrain is right in the middle.
Yeah, it's right in the middle. You could pack it a bit to the front or to the back if you want, but it's right in the middle. The important thing is touching up here and down there.
Yes.
In order to make sure that the front wheel is always the same size and the back wheel is the same size.
Oh, yes.
The entire system is ending up here.
Yeah, that's right.
And you need to
I suspect there might be some adjustments once it's
and
created.
You want to maintain the guidance, which is done here and here.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Here, and the guidance is you have a suspension system here. Estimating that maybe more suspension is needed than in a regular bike because this is closer to the ground maybe. So this element here will move up, and this will move up as well because here it's linked by this bar.
Yeah.
In the back. So
yeah.
So the guidance is always maintained. It's not.
Oh my God, it's so fascinating. So what is your schedule like for starting the creation of this?
I'm in the process of drawing the prototype, so all moving parts and
oh wow,
and ordering stuff to and normally I would have be ready with all that 2 weeks ago, but it's
yeah, you talked about getting parts. That's where you're gonna have the problems, right?
If it's not bicycle parts, it's okay.
Yeah, that's right. I guess so. So when you create it, it's all going to be steel. Like you're not going to be 3D printing any of the parts, are you?
No, for my prototype, it's all 3D printed. Or most of the
like the actual size.
Yeah, for the
life size.
Even for the actual size, yeah, it will be 3D printed, the first prototype, and then I have to. I think that I go whether for a carbon fiber frame. Some of the elements will stay 3D printed, or I thought, what if these elements are
aluminum
cut in a sheet of what is it called in English? Organoblech.
Oh, what's that?
That's like sheet metal, but done in carbon fiber. So
okay.
Also possible to design something for this construction method, but it's actually not this design anymore. This is from the time when I designed it in 2009. Now I have another design, which is functionally very, very similar, but it's looking differently, more contemporary. In this design, it's looking like I have to say it looks like a cruiser with the handlebar going here.
Yes.
And the pedals there are
flats.
BMX pedals, then you have also flight solitaire saddle, and what was my role model for this? The seat post was a bit synchro-ish.
Oh yeah.
And the model I'm doing now, it's more contemporary all over. So it's still a bicycle. It looks like a bicycle, but it's.
Do you have a picture of that?
I have, but I cannot show you yet.
Oh, damn. Okay, I see. It's
we
really.
have to meet soon in the future to do
yes.
this.
Oh, I totally agree. All right. So you are in the process of putting together a real life size model.
Yeah.
And so when do you anticipate that to be completed so that we can have you back and maybe like in your studio so you can stand beside it and things like that?
Yeah. Well, if the drawing goes right in
The
in
parts.
a month I will have the drawing completed, hopefully, and then fabrication. I was already in touch with the guy doing the 3D printing for me, and I told him, I'm sorry, other stuff to do. I have to cost a month, but everything is ready for this moment, and then it's also the moment of truth. To what extent?
Oh yes, yeah.
Will it work directly, or is there more development needed? Possible,
right?
But as soon as I have something to show you, you're the first
We'll have to. Yes. Well, I might not be the first person, but I would love to be one of the people. So what are your kids and how old are your kids and what do they think about all those robotic projects of yours?
My big one is 7. He's becoming 8 soon, and the small one is 3.
Oh, perfect.
And also a little bit into cycling. The big one, he became he received from his grandfather just a week ago a 24-inch mountain bike.
Oh, nice.
Because he's growing so fast, so he has.
I know way you're like.
Abandoned his 20-inch mountain bike, and the small one, he's still in this. It's like it's a kid's bike without
like a little strider.
There's a strider.
The little kick bikes.
Yeah. But he's very. He's completely into this. He loves it.
Oh, that's great. So, what do they think and about the robotic stuff?
I guess for them it's somewhat a natural thing.
Yeah, I know nowadays, right? It's kind of like because there's a lot more out there. So do you?
They tend to give me advices to do it like this or do it like that, and
that's great.
And the old one, he gets into 3D modeling now. So it's a battle when I'm I don't know calculating something on my big computer, and on my laptop I have to write an email, and he is there and Daddy, let's do the thing with the modeling, and okay, once he wants that, I have to let him do it.
Well, yeah, sometimes when they're super interested in something like that, it's like, okay, set aside time. But that is exciting because it looks like he might just follow in your footsteps.
No, there's still a time until he has to take a decision, but why not if he wants? He's in some stuff he's pretty talented and could be useful in the stuff I'm doing.
Well, I mean, look who his dad is, right? Like, he's probably gonna have all the talent. So, all right. So, where can everybody find you? Where's the main place to watch as you progress through this? Are you going to be putting like updates? Or are you going to just put it out there when it's done?
Put it out there when it's done, but no, I have to go through some main milestones, I would say, and then it doesn't need to be completely finished, but some milestones need to be completed, and then I can show more. The thing is that it's as it is for now a private project with very little funding. lately
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had funding from the government. That was cool. So I can pay all the 3D printed parts with this money, but still time-wise and all the construction time is not funded. So I do it when I have time, and
Yeah, of course.
my success with it is that I haven't abandoned it in all the years.
Yeah. I mean, if it is a great success, you have all the contacts as well.
Yeah, no, it's, I'm confident that soon there will be something nice to show.
Excellent. Well, so Instagram is where I found you. Is that the main place for everybody to watch you?
Oh yeah, right now I would say Instagram. Yeah, it's Stephan Stephan Henrich, and it's written Henrich, and this is my Instagram account.
Yeah.
Robotics design and architecture, and I have a homepage, but that's not really up to date. I want to do a new one. That's
what you get the 7-year-old on. Okay, honey. I need you to get into web design. Help daddy. Well, thank you so much, Stephan. I am super excited about seeing the final product, and I will continue to reach out to you. And I hope this was cool for our listeners to go in. I highly recommend, as I mentioned, to watch this on YouTube so that you can actually, see the miniature prototype that Stephan was showing, and also to make sure you follow him and follow podcasts and sign up for our newsletter so you never miss episodes like this, as well as gaining some cycling tips from me. So with that, have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you so much for making the time for me, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you, Sylvie. It was a pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Bye.
All right, friends, what did you think about that bike? I know that you can't see it because you might be listening, but it is certainly worth, of course, you can see the picture of the bike on the thumbnail. Going to YouTube and actually watching it. There's no YouTube channel that he's created to take a look at this robotic bike. Now, again, right now, he is in the process of drawing it up and putting it a life-size model together to test it. And just, keep your eye on this podcast. We're going to have him back probably in the fall. I suspect it'll take a while to put it together and get somebody on it testing. But I'm super excited. I think it's so revolutionary and exciting and different. And I'm really curious about seeing how it works. And through talking with Stephan, I can totally see how everything works together. And it's super interesting. I didn't expect him to have a biking background, but it totally makes sense coming from mountain biking to BMX to gravel. And there you have it, a bike that reflects a lot of those elements. So with that, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter so you don't miss an episode and you gain some great cycling tips. The link is in the bio. Do that right now and make sure you follow him and have yourself an amazing day.